Hey guys, it's Vadiazo back again from the Card Fight Vanguard deck profile. So if you guys enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to the Patreon. Let's get one started. Today we have Tachikaze, Ancient Dragons, a deck that I think it was the first one that, in my opinion, got like the worst skill of them all, because the first skills of all of them were always really good, and then the second skill was just meh. Like, I thought Ancient Dragons would be more support orientated to like the true Ancient Dragon line, or maybe just do their own thing but can be supported by true Ancient Dragons. It kind of felt like Bushy chose to just say, fuck true Ancient Dragons, because like, unlike every other deck that existed in V, they had, Tachikaze only had one line of work, and that was just equip gauge up until True Ancient Dragons came out, and even then, there was only like 5 of them, and then the rest of the stuff was always just equip gauge, even in the newer set with Gigano, and then they kind of gave it to Ancient Dragons to where it kind of feels like they're just favoring over equip gauge, and they're treating True Ancient Dragons like a mistake, when really, True Ancient Dragons are really good. So, they're not really good, but they're fun playing with, and they're always good using. So let's go ahead and get this one started, because I think the deck's kind of fun, despite the fact the support is kind of meh on it. First up, we have our starter in Minimum Carno, 6k base, 10k shield, grade 0 with boost. Auto, when it's rode upon, draw a card, then if your opponent's Vanguard's a greater and greater, get a quick show ticket to your hand. So standard draw and standard quick show, nothing too special. You get the draw that you might top deck off of later, and you get the quick show, which is just a 5k shield that you typically use for discard. Either way, Minimum Carno's a nice starter, and if there was an Ancient Dragon starter, I would use it here. But either way, I like Minimum Carno because, hey, he breathes fire, and he came in the True Ancient Dragon set, so he gets to stay. And he's also the scourge to why I probably don't pull fronts. I swear, if I change my starter and I start sacking fronts, I'm blaming Minimum Carno for it. Trigger-wise, we run 4 Draw Trigger and Archbird, our Draw PG. Sentinel, continue Sentinel, we have up to 4 Sentinels in the deck. Auto Guard Circle, when place the card from hand and nullify. One of these cannot be hit till in the battle, so just a standard PG. Nothing too special about it. We run 8 fronts in Herbivore's Dragon Brittosaurus and Pack Dragon Tiny Rex. If you know any of the true Ancient Dragons, all fronts become crits with them. So, I mean, granted, the new 3 Ancient Dragons don't do that, but any of the true Ancient Dragons become crits with front trigger. So this is basically 8 front, 8 crit, 4 draw, and 4 heal. And that's what I like about them, because they give versatility. Heal trigger, I'm not going to say it again. I don't like Heal Guardians. They have no purpose to me. Well, there are decks where I'll agree that they do have some purpose, but I still don't like them regardless. If you want to run them, you can, but I personally choose not to. Younger Parasound is a good grade 0 to me, 4 of. It's also the only heal that doesn't seem to betray me in Tachikaze. On to grade 1s. We run 4 copies of True Ancient Dragon Albertail. 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Continues Vanguard during your turn. If you have a Vanguard with Ancient Dragon its card name, this unit gets +5. Really easy to pull off because it just says Ancient Dragon, so already it was a good card in premium because you could just run it with old Ancient Dragon stuff, which I did do. And now you can kind of run it with the new Ancient Dragon stuff, and you'll always be on that 5k base because all of this main deck is Ancient Dragon, except for the triggers. And Auto Vanguard, the standard ability that all true Ancient Dragons have. Once per turn, when your draw trigger reveals a front trigger, you may have it get +1 crit for the turn. So that +1 crit's really nice. Yes, it's once per turn, but if you have multiple on the field, which is really easy to get, these front triggers, they give +10 to the front row, then they become critical triggers in their effects. So kind of make it harder for the opponent to guard and harder for them to take it. So I always like the True Ancient Dragons because of that. I never sack fronts with them except when I'm about to win, and I would win anyways. But I like it. Albertail is a really nice grade 1, and he's always the thing I kind of have in back row, and he's always the greatest supporter, so 4 of. 4 of True Ancient Dragon Petrifeed, my favorite grade 1 using, solely because of its art and its skill. 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto Van or Rear, when an attacker or the attacker boosted hits a Vanguard, look at top 7 cards of your deck, call up to 1 card with an Ancient Dragon and its card name from Mother to Rear's Rest, and shuffle your deck. So once more, all the True Ancient Dragon stuff, they support Ancient Dragons as well, so it's really easy to use them with the new boys. And Auto Vanarreer, once per turn, when your drag trigger reveals a front trigger, you may have a game +1 crit on a turn. Okay, I'm not going to bother saying that for any of the remaining True Ancient Dragons because all of them share that skill, but yeah, that's really nice. It allows for early rush. Yeah, you call this stuff as rest, but hey, it's a way to set up the board, and I always like that. I normally ride this one, call 1 to the back center, swing, get 2 searches off. Boom, I got a column ready for next turn, and maybe 2 rows ready to go in for swinging. And all around, Petrifeed is a nice grade 1 to have because it just adds that support and pressure. 4 of. It also has a really nice art. And 4 of our new grade 1, who I hate the most out of everything in this deck, Ancient Dragon Iguanogorg, 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto, if this unit has an equip gauge on it, this cost is reduced by Counterblast 1. When this unit is retired from rearguard by a card's ability, Counterblast 1 and call to an open rearguard circle as rest. The equip gauge it had on it goes to drop when retired and called. And auto rear, once per turn when your drive trigger reveals a trigger unit, put the top card of your deck face down as an equip gauge for this unit. So that is a standard ability that all regular Ancient Dragons have, so I'm not ever going to say that again, but pretty much, you know, you get a trigger, you get a gauge. Nothing too special about it. Like, two of them use it, I guess. One of them doesn't. This one I feel like is like the least useful, because like the deck doesn't use up that much counterblast. Like, if we're going to who uses up counterblast in the deck, it's this one, Spinal Driver, and one of the grade 3s, and one of the grade 2s. Like, 4 out of the 8 cards in this deck, and even then, like, you don't use this as much. Like, I never use this for that skill. It's not that good in my opinion. Like, they could have done something else with it. Like, yeah, I guess it's sack fodder, but that's all I can really see it as. They could have done something else with this, I feel like, but they didn't. And the other ability, the once per turn get a gauge when you drive check a trigger, they could have just given this the crit. It would have been fine that way. Why'd they have to change it? I have no idea, but it's an okay grade 1 for sacking, I guess, 4 of. At least my least favorite grade 1 anyways. On to grade 2s. 3 copies of the thing from Jurassic Park, True Ancient Dragon Allosaurus. I know it's not his name, but that's how I pronounce it. 9k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto Vanner Rear, when placed from hand, counterblast 1, look at top 3, call up to 1 Ancient Dragon and its card name from among them to rear, and put the rest on the bottom of the deck, and then the standard get a crit ability. So, you know, really easy. Get the top 3 search, call a rear guard, send the rest to bottom. For some reason, every time I use this, I see 2 triggers, and then I see an actual Ancient Dragon, which is always what I call, but I like Allosaurus. He's really nice. He can get you an extra field unit. Granted, he has to be placed from hand, but he's always really easy to pull off, and he has a standard ability, 3 of in my page. 4 of True Ancient Dragon Hefstarego, 9k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Continuous rear. If it's on additional rear, it gets plus 5k power permanently, and it cannot be retired by your opponent's card effects, and it can be chosen though. So like, they can lock it, they can call over it, but they can't really retire it with stuff like Denial Griffin, etc, etc. And either way, that's a nice 5k buff that is a permanent thing, by the way, as long as it's on the Excel circle. But if they manage to move it off the Excel circle, then all of that goes to hell. But still, it's a nice thing to have. Then it has the extra crit ability. All around, I like this card. It's very annoying dealing with, because you kind of have to focus on murdering them, but at the same time murdering this thing, because it becomes a problem in the late game, especially when they start sacking fronts. So Heftarastego, or Heftstarago, is a really nice grade 2 to have, and 4 of. Hint, hint. Keep this thing alive as long as physically possible. And our last grade 2, and in terms of artwork, like my least favorite, but in terms of skill, I guess it's my second favorite. Ancient Dragon Dino Crowd. Then again, when this thing is here, it's really, the bar is set really low. 9k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto Vanner Rear, when it attacks, so blast 1 and retire rear guard until end of battle. It gets plus 10 and plus 5k for each of this unit's equip gauges. Okay, and then it has the once per turn ability that the regular Ancient Dragons have. Okay, short disclaimer. When I was doing the fight with Chronojet, this was supposed to have 5k more, which would have forced Chronojet to intercept with Smoke Gear. For the record, even if it did happen, Chronojet was going to lose anyways, and I would have top decked into Gear Dog regardless, which would have been an epic anime move. It just would have looked a lot cooler on Chronojet's side, but it didn't matter in the long run. Chronojet was going to lose anyways, just changed how it would look. But anyways, Dino Crowd, I like it. It gets power regardless. You have to sack a rear guard for it. I guess this is what this is for. And, you know, swings for 19 on his own, possibly 24. All around, nice grade 2 to have for a skill, 4 of, because he can get numbers. On to grade 3s, we run 2 copies of True Ancient Dragon Barrel Tops, 12k base, grade 3 Twin Drive Excel Gift, Auto Vanner Rear. When placed, if you have a Vanguard Ancient Dragon as card name, counterblast 1 draw card, and it gets plus 5 for the turn, and the standard crit ability. Okay, that on-place effect, I use a lot more than expected. Like, when I first built the deck, like, all the way back when True Ancient Dragons first became a thing, I was like, I don't like using this. Like, yeah, it's a good ability to call with, Blade Rummus, which we're about to get to in a hot second, but I never really liked using its ability. I mean, like, writing it, and then there were cases where I had to write it, but when I stopped being able to use my Stolen Area because of keyboard problems, this thing fucking paid out. Like, I don't know what happened, but then when I just started being forced to use my True Ancient Dragon deck a lot in Premium, where I killed my opponent with Drachma so much that I kind of became emotionally attached to Drachma, boy, Barrel Tops paid out. He did work. He showed the reason why I run him. The boy, that draw always helps out so much, and that 5k is always good, and you can search him in the deck 2-0, there's no reason not to run him. On to our backup grade 3, our main grade 3, debatable. True Ancient Dragon Blade Rummus. 12k base, grade 3, Twin Drive XL gift, one of my favorites because he's just a raptor and he looks really cool. In terms of look, honestly, I like, let me quickly just take a sneak peek. Yeah, I like his look more than I like Spinal Driver, but I slightly like Spinal Driver's skill more than like Blader Mouse, just because, Blade Rummus, just because of the XL gift thing, but anyways. Blade Rummus, act, van, once per turn, retire rear guard, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Search your deck for up to one card with Ancient Dragon's card name, call it to rear, shuffle your deck, and it gets +5 for the turn, and standard crit ability. Okay, first off, kill a rear guard, so you can just kill a trigger. Kill an opponent's rear guard, cool, this costs no counterblast by the way. Literally search for any normal unit in your deck, call it, and he gets +5. Nice grade 3. No reason not to consider running it because you're always going to have a hand card. So, 4 copies. Really nice. And don't forget, like, the extra crit thing from front triggers is a Vanguard and rear guard thing, and that's for all of them. So you can apply this on an early rush or just, like, a rush in general. So, Blade Rummus, nice grade 3, and I really like it. 4 of. And then our last grade 3 and our main grade 3 / support grade 3. These two are back and forth. You can call them support, you can call them main between each other. I don't really know which way they classify as, but they're both good in their own rights. Ancient Dragon, Spinal Driver. 12k base, grade 3, Twin Drive XL gift. Auto, when this unit attacks a Vanguard or from Vanguard or when it's rode upon. Counterblast 1 to retire 2 rear guards. Yeah, this is why this exists. This is just a bitch for this and Spinal Driver. Get an Imaginary Gift XL, draw a card, choose a card from hand, call it to rear, and then choose 2 of your units, and they get +5 for the turn. Okay, so a way to fill up your hand, draw, call, get +5 so you can hit force numbers more or less as long as they don't pull triggers, and get more hand cards and get multi-attack out of it. All around, a really good ability. Then it has the gauge ability on rear, which I still question why they gave it to this. Like, yeah, it makes it more valuable of a support card, but like, it really does feel like their favoritism. They feel like they're showing favoritism to, like, what's it called? Equip gauges more than to things like True Ancient Dragons. Like, everyone else has, like, such diverse builds, except for quote-unquote Royals, where they have multiple Blaster Blade builds, but, like, it's different Blaster Blade builds, unlike fucking Tachikaze over here. Like, at least they changed how Blaster Blade would work in each build. This just changes how fast you get your equip gauges out and what the end result is. Gigano is just more power, Thunderblader is more attacks, and Ravenous Gigarex is more damage to some extent, and Gaia is more crit. So, take it as you will. Spinal Driver gets the XL gifts down, he gets you more rear guards, he gets you a draw, and he's always nice to have. I say ride this guy first, ride on him with Blade Rummus, and then use the gift to get more XL gifts. And then just like that, on grade 2, on second grade 3 turn, you got 4 gifts, and that's really nice to have. So 4 of. Gift-wise, we're on 6XL1, 6XL2s because you get a decent amount from Spinal Driver over here. Both of them do similar things. When acquired, they both go to a new front and rear guard circle from top left, then to top right, and then you keep alternating between the two because that's a genuine ruling. XL1, though, when the unit on it gets +10 during your turn. XL2, you draw a card when you place the XL gift, and then the unit on it gets +5 during your turn. So this one gives less power, but in exchange, you get, like, the ability to draw, which kind of replaces XL1's purpose, because for XL1, yeah, it gets more power, but you have to have a unit to begin with to use its full potential. XL2 gives you the potential to have a unit. Like, yeah, you might draw into a trigger, but, hey, you're drawing into something, and you can call it to a rear guard. So, all around, I think XL2 is better. A lot of people run XL2 over it. If you want to go for XL1 for those quick kills on games that you think they're going to outpower you, go for it, but you get enough trigger sacking, you might as well go for XL2. Like, especially if you know you're a lucky person, or because the deck gets enough powers, go for XL2, just to get those draws out. So, yeah. We run our Quick Shield, which is when one of you attacks, gets +5k for the battle. Nothing in this deck discards. You can straight up use this as a 5k shield, which is what I do. So, yeah, or just use that discard fodder, or maybe something like you're playing against Giraffa, and you just call it. Or you could use it as PG fodder. That's pretty much it. And that was the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tachikaze was always an interesting deck back in the old days. I am so disappointed that they chose to make it mainly equip gauge based. I wish they did more with it, but A, it's fine. They gave us something new. If they didn't make Transient Dragons, I would genuinely have a resentment towards Tachikaze. It's not because I hate them. I love their design, and I love their skills, but I would hate the fact that they would only have one genuine, like, strategy, and then they just had different ways of going about it, which is fine and all, but it gets kind of repetitive, so it's always nice that they had the new thing in there, and Blade and True Ancient Dragons kind of brought it there. So, all around, I like the deck. I kind of wish the new grade 3, 2, and 1 with the Ancient Dragon stuff kind of had different abilities that weren't focused on the quick gauges, but hey, I'm still fine with it. So I'm ending here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Patreon, follow the Twitch, join the Discord, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to stand up, your vanguards.